Do I have sound? Yeah, thank you. Excellent. So, yeah, great to see you all here. I know this is a difficult time slot. You're all waiting for lunch. Maybe just grab this opportunity to just quickly stand up, stretch a bit, just before lunch. Come on, stand up, because, you need this right now, a bit of energy. Stretch a bit. There you go. All right. Fantastic. That will give me another 50 minutes, right? Excellent. Okay. So I will, in the fashion of this international morning, I will continue my presentation in English as well. So bear with the Dutch accent that I have. My name is Oscar Mege. I run a company called Talent. You're looking at the entire team right now. I help companies to find talent and to improve their recruitment practices. And Bas indeed has asked me to give you sort of a really brief brief introduction of how I work with my clients, how I work with my hiring managers, and make that successful. So I call this Source, Collaborate, Hire because I think that is, really the essence of what I do. To help the clients I work with to become successful. But you could also call this taking hiring managers on a talent jungle expedition. And a jungle, recruitment sometimes really is like a jungle. It has a lot of pitfalls, and I think the number one pitfall in recruitment really has to do with the lack of trust. And we have spoken about hiring managers a lot already this morning, but that is really something that is very apparent in the recruitment practices of many companies. As a contract recruiter, I typically get hired when things are not going really well, right? So usually when I get in, there's an issue. Either it's recruiters struggling to find candidates, hiring managers not being satisfied with their recruitment teams, not delivering any candidates. So trust in recruitment at those specific cases usually has reached a very low point, right? So there's some research done on how recruiters think about recruitment, how hiring managers think of their recruitments in recruitment. And what you usually see is that like 80% of recruiters think they have a high to very high understanding of the jobs for which they recruit, right? Which we all do. If you ask hiring managers, then 61% of hiring managers say that recruiters have at best a low to moderate understanding of the jobs for which they recruit. So it's not really aligned there, right? Okay. 51% of recruiters say hiring managers should do a better job communicating what they are looking for in candidates and provide you with relatable examples that they can work with, right? However, hiring managers say that 77% of hiring managers say that recruiters candidate screening is really inadequate. Okay. 54% of recruiters complain that hiring managers expect recruiters to place candidates into hard-to-fill positions more quickly than is feasible. In order, they should work harder, right? However, 42% of hiring managers wish recruiters have started earlier with the things that they needed to do. And they should have built talent pools for positions in a much earlier stage, right? So if you look at those numbers, then you really can say there's a gap between recruiters and hiring managers. And I think making the hiring process a much more collaborative interaction with hiring managers will help bridge that gap and will increase recruitment success. So that's really one of the aims that I have when I work with hiring managers and I work in recruitment teams. It's not rocket science, but I see that is what recruiters are struggling with most in doing their jobs. The thing that we talk about most in improving recruitment is candidate experience, for all of the good reasons, because that is a very important topic. However, one of the most critical success factors in making in-house recruitment teams work successfully is the quality of the relationship they have with their hiring managers. So that is really something that needs to be improved. Turning your hiring managers into partners will immediately increase recruitment success. So what I often think is that if you have your recruiters actually sit with your hiring managers, so sit in the departments where your hiring managers are working, that will immediately increase the success. And some companies are doing that actually with a certain level of success. But in most cases, you see that recruiters sit with the HR silo, and they're perfectly well hidden from hiring managers, and that typically doesn't work. So the secret sauce in recruitment isn't just being an exceptional talent finder. It's about working with your hiring managers and make this a team effort, right? The two things that hiring managers think are most important are speed and quality. They need you as a recruiter to deliver the best candidates in the shortest amount of time, right? And hiring manager engagement is really driving that. So as soon as you work well with your hiring managers, you will be able to deliver on speed and on quality. So, and that's all about enabling conversations and communication, of course. There's no such thing as a magical first aid kit to fix hiring manager engagement. It's about building trust. It's about leveraging their knowledge and their input to make the right decisions. However, I think that you can make some simple adjustments to the hiring process and to the technology you use to make that work better. And as Bas said, I was asked, and I'll just take a sip of water here, to give you a bit of an idea of how I do that with my clients, and to demonstrate how I achieve hiring manager engagement. And I wanted to give you some really practical examples of how I do that with my clients. However, I wasn't able to show you some examples, but because that would sort of compromise all of the candidates that I've worked with in the past as well. So instead, I will take you on a talent jungle expedition. And this is, of course, very much similar to the way I work in group practice. And I will show you a tool that I use that I think is very much contributing to both the sourcing activities that I do as a recruiter, but also the hiring manager engagement. And I really think you never should leave on a jungle expedition without a proper first aid kit. So this is my go-to tool, Hello Talent. Are you familiar with this product? How many people know this product already? Okay, not too many. It really is my first aid kit of choice for social recruiting, for sourcing, and for hiring manager engagement, for collaboration with hiring managers. So often when I get in new organizations, or that's really what I always do, I do a quick scan on people, on processes, and on technology. And in most cases, what I find is that the recruitment technology that is being used by the company that I get to work with is just not supporting sourcing, active sourcing really well. So usually there's an ATS in place, an applicant tracking system, and that works really well for tracking applicant activities, right? So candidates that actively apply on jobs. But it doesn't really work well if you, as a recruiter, source your candidates yourself and want to track that activity, right? So I always need a certain tool to do that, and Hello Talent is supporting me with that. Also, I think that in general, ATS systems or recruitment systems don't necessarily support really well how to collaborate with your hiring managers. And again, I think this is the tool to use for that. And I will show you with a couple of examples how I use the tool in daily practice. So Hello Talent comes with this really nice Chrome extension that you can install. And what that does is it helps you when you start sourcing for candidates on social networks, on LinkedIn, for example, Facebook, or any network that you want to use. It helps you to get all that information from the website into your talent pool in Hello Talent. And the talent pool of Hello Talent, when it's empty, looks like this. So this is the empty talent pool of Hello Talent. And I created a new one, which I have called the EverTalent Talent Jungle Expedition. So this is what I usually do when I start building a talent pool. So when I start sourcing, I can go to different social networks. I will pick a candidate profile, which is mine for this example. And I want to put this LinkedIn profile, and this could be a Facebook profile, a Twitter profile, or any website, that you want to use. And I click on the button that you see on the right top corner side of the slide. It's a green button. That is the Chrome plugin that I use for Hello Talent. And as soon as I click that button, then this screen pops up. And basically what it does, it extracts all the relevant information that you find in this LinkedIn profile, and it puts it nicely in a couple of fields there, and you can edit the new profile to the talent pool that you've just created. So there it is now. And how that works is that if you scroll through different fields, you can put the workflow status there. That's the information that it has extracted. You can add a rating. There's an average rating if you have more members in your talent pool. Summary, email, telephone number. You can add resumes, tags. You can add job profiles. And what is really nice as well, and I think that's one of the real benefits of using Hello Talent, as soon as you have added your an email address of your candidate, then it automatically finds all of the other social profiles that your candidate is using. And that is it's a big time saver, because usually when I like to collect information about my candidate, I go to all the different social profiles, I really profile my candidate, and now Hello Talent is doing that for me. So this is phenomenal. This is really a big time saver. And like we already mentioned before, speed is something that our hiring manager are looking for, right? So obviously a talent pool only works best if you share the information in your talent pool with other people. So what I can do now is go to the top right corner and invite other people to this talent pool, like my hiring manager. So what I do is I send my hiring manager an invite to this talent pool. Please, can you help me evaluate potential candidates for our Talent Jungle Expedition? And I send that, and he receives a link by email, and he can then become part of my talent pool. And in the same time, I already start rating my candidates. So I can use this simple 5-star rating system to give my candidate a rating here, which I will do like this. And I can add some information there as well. So this for our Jungle Talent Expedition, this is probably an interesting candidate, so quite a bit of experience in the international recruiting space. Could be our guy for the Talent Jungle Expedition. And on the bottom of the profile, you see this is added as a comment as well. And everyone in that talent pool, every member of the talent pool, can read that information. So in the meantime, my hiring manager has received this talent pool invitation. He clicks there, and now you can see I have 2 members in my talent pool. So the recruiter and the hiring manager. And this is what the hiring manager gets to see. So here, the rating part is empty because he hasn't filled in any rating, but the average rating does show some stars, because that is the rating you see of the recruiter. And here, the hiring manager can add his own rating. And he has seen mine that I've added before, so this could be definitely our guy. And he can add some comments there. And there you go now, this candidate has 2 ratings. And you know, this really starts the conversation and the communication about the candidate with your hiring manager. So what you're doing now is you really start this collaboration with your hiring manager. It really involve you involve the hiring manager in the decision-making process. Is this a candidate worth of continuing the process with, right? 2 comments there. So, and every time I add a new comment or I make a change in the candidate profile, I get a notification. So, and not only me, but also the hiring manager. So, as soon as I add a new comment, as soon as I have called the candidate and I give my feedback and I write it down in this talent pool, my hiring manager gets a notification that there's new information there. So in this way, you fill your talent pool really with interesting candidates. So I've now added all candidates I like to have on my talent jungle expedition. So they're all in. And every time I add a new candidate, my hiring manager gets to see that. And he can evaluate the candidate immediately. He can rate the candidate, which gives me as a recruiter feedback if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm on the right track with my candidates. So there's no more black box after the hiring manager has given me the opportunity to recruit candidates for him. No, this is really a collaboration. I make it as transparent as possible and give the hiring manager really the opportunity to look over my shoulder, to show him what I'm doing, and be part of that success as well, right? So the hiring manager really is influencing the success of my work on the go. So for me, this helps massively restoring trust from hiring managers. So, and I use this for entry-level positions. I use this for executive search, and it makes the whole process a lot more transparent. And that's about, I think, the 20 minutes that I've got. So definitely worth checking out this tool. And I'd say good luck on your talent jungle expedition as well.